What's up, everybody? How's it going? And welcome to another Geeks Who Like Sports mashup.
Mashup.
So, in honor of Lee seeing the Back to the Future musical
Yes,
this week,
in honor of that.
yes,
I love that. There's an honor. There's an honorability to that.
yes, we are going to come up with other geek properties that haven't had a musical.
That need one. They need
that
one.
Could yes.
If it works for Back to the Future, it's going to work for these. So we're going to come up with them, right, and maybe some of the songs.
Maybe. And we'll also say obviously Spider-Man is disqualified because Turn Off the Dark was
too many people died.
That was a disaster. So we don't need that one again. So
and we also said that
Spider-Man does not.
That Batman has already had an opera in The Batman with Robert Pattinson. So we're already gonna take that one out too. And Deadpool is disqualified because there'd be way too much talking to the audience.
There'd be too much licensed music for them to get the rights to. So
that's right. Would it be a one-night show?
It'd be one night only. Yes. Lee, what is your other musical geek thing that you would like?
Well, right. I think we should start with one that we both jointly agree on, right? Which is Ghostbusters, right?
Yes, Ghostbusters. Bustin makes me feel good.
Is it one of the songs? Is that one of your songs?
That might be the subtitle.
Bustin. Bustin makes me feel good could be the subtitle. I just have a lot of fun with the songs in this one, right? Like, Are You the Keymaster?
Yeah.
Right? When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of great songs that could go on to this. But I think Ghostbusters would work great as a musical. I mean, the only problem is using the proton packs, or I'm sorry, the neutrona wands, as they're known as now, because we're geeks here. That might be a little bit of a challenge, but they could do it.
Make that work. You could do the light show with that. I think you could
totally do a light show with that. I would totally see a Ghostbusters. I mean, look, it plays itself. It takes place in New York.
Yep.
Right? Like Broadway shows that take place in New York is always a win.
That's got Tony written all over it.
Right. Or Oscar and Tony. Ghostbusters, the original film.
Tonys are the Oscars of Broadway, basically.
Right. Yeah, if you didn't know that. Or you could even do an original Ghostbusters. Like I wouldn't mind, Ray. I think they'd have to do the film just because of the Back to the Future nature of this. Like people want to be familiar with it. But like the Ghostbusters 3 kind of, which was kind of a video game. You could
have your own adventure if you really wanted to.
Yeah, they did that in a video game. It was really good. And then they kind of did it again in the newer movies. The Afterlife movie kind of played on that a little bit, like 30 years later. I think Ghostbusters is a great pick.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I mean, look, you could do Ninja Turtles.
I think they had a show. It wasn't a musical.
I don't think it was a musical. I thought they might have done a live show.
Yeah,
you're correct.
Yeah, so kind of that's on like the Disney on Ice level of things, right?
Sure.
But yeah, they did that. That was pretty good. But yeah, you could have a Ninja Turtles story in the theater. It also takes place in New York City.
Yeah.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do in a half shell.
Yeah.
there's your song right there.
I mean, we obviously again also got to disqualify Captain America because now they have the Rogers musical.
Which is horribly funny, good.
Yes, how that came about to be.
There's no way to explain that. Yeah, some of these Broadway shows. Look, if we're going geeks, I mean, look, it's funny that Back to the Future, because that would have been my pick years ago, and they really nailed it. I mean, I said this in the show, they nailed it. So I don't see why we can't do a Ghostbusters. I'm always looking around at my geek. You know what? What about Star Wars and Star Trek?
Yeah,
too well known. Could you do it?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to think like. If you wanted to do a really pick. If you wanted to do a really heavy drama, you do like a Gears of War or something.
Too obscure.
You think Gears of War is obscure?
I think for the musical theater audience, probably.
Oh yeah, no, definitely Gears of War would not appeal to.
Only if you use the Megadeth song "Gears of War" to open it, in which case that's the other half of the people gone.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
right.
I mean, that could be a metal. Yeah, you could have a metal Gears of War show.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're talking
with Megadeth. You could have Megadeth doing the soundtrack. You got like AC/DC contributing to the
off
soundtrack.
Broadway. It's an off-Broadway show.
Off Broadway.
Way off Broadway. It's in another state.
Yeah.
But I think Ninja Turtles and at least from our era, Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles would be really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other dramatic things. Like I wouldn't mind a Boy Meets World play. I don't think it's a musical.
No, not a musical.
But a Boy Meets World like play could be pretty good. I mean, that fits that. I mean, it really was a play when you think about it.
I mean, I was gonna say at that point, it's just another episode of the show.
Beanie, That could be. I grew up on that. I grew up on that show, and then one of our producers also grew up on that show 20 years after I grew up on the show. Maybe not that, maybe like 15 years. So it's a little weird.
Yeah.
And because like, I was Corey Matthews, and then she watched it and she's like, I was Corey Matthews. I'm like, oh, this is weird. But yeah, I think that's a good group there of geekdom.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, X-Men would work as a drama, but I think
X-Men. I mean, X-Men. You could probably put Mario Brothers in there. Like you could probably do.
They tried that a couple times, and
yeah.
Well, let's stay away from Zelda. Yeah. That The Legend of Zelda could be a great opera. Great opera.
Yeah.
I'm J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now. That's not an opera. That's a commercial.
No, that's commercial.
Nope. All right. Well, that's our picks.
J.G. Ganondorf.
I want my cash now.
I want the Triforce of Power now.
Yeah. There you go. But those are our choices. But as always, we want to know.
What you think. So yeah. So as always, comment below, share, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But for Lee, I'm Ray, and until next week, this has been Geeks Who Like Sports. See you, everybody.
Mashup.